Hello and welcome to the Daily Try, the daily podcast that supports you on your fertility journey. My name's Lara, and today, episode 17 of the Daily Try. If you are just joining us for the first time, or if you've been listening for a while, then I would love it if you could follow us or put a review or comment on the podcast, because that helps other people find it. And also, if you do have any questions, then do comment, and I get all those comments, and I can make some episodes that fit around what you want some help with. So today being a Monday, I thought we would talk about appointments, and I wanted to give you a reminder, which is similar to what I talked about a few days ago, that just because you have had lots of cycles or lots of ovulation tests or lots of negative pregnancy tests or lots of repeated clinic visits, or basically you've been going on this for a while, it doesn't mean it's a failure or that you're a failure. And today being a Monday, it might mean that you're going for a blood test or a scan or a consultation, and sometimes when you're going back to the same clinic and over again, the waiting room starts to feel familiar. You know which chair is dodgy, do not sit on it. You know that you recognise the receptionist, they know you by name, they remember you. In some ways, it's nice that people know you and are friendly and you know the situation, it's more relaxing. But in other ways, it's like, how many times do I need to come here and do this? And is it not over yet? Why am I still doing it? And sometimes it feels like, yes, it's nice to have the familiarity, but at the same time, you don't want the familiarity. You want to have moved on to the next step. And so if today involves a waiting room for you, I want you to notice that familiarity, but don't judge yourself on it, because it's not a sign of failure. And I think this also comes down to the language that we use. A lady emailed me today saying she'd had 7 unsuccessful cycles. So you're saying unsuccessful rather than failed is a huge difference, because when you fail at something, it's like you kind of feel like, ugh, I'm a loser. Oh, I couldn't do it. I didn't try, or all these things will be running through your head. But when it's unsuccessful, it takes that thing away from you, and it becomes the cycle was unsuccessful, not you're unsuccessful, not you're a failure. Whereas the word failure, I think, we can think of it as we personally are a failure, which we're not, because we are all superstars. Anyone that listens to this podcast is amazing. And no failures on this podcast, no losers on this podcast. We are all superstars, and we're all doing the best we can. So when it comes to going to appointments and the language that you're using, I think sometimes if you reframe it, it can feel better. So one way I reframe is I do quite a lot of public speaking, and I still get these kind of feeling in my tummy. And you could say it's nerves, but I like to think of it as excitement. I'm going on stage and I'm going to talk about something I'm very passionate about, and I get excited. My body gets excited for doing that. So reframing that has made a huge difference to me. Changing the way I see it has made a huge difference. So if there is something that you're doing today and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to, or this is not what I want to do, or I don't feel good about doing this. Like, one way, I know when I did my IVF and I did all the injections, I got so many bruises. And it was just like, oh, I don't want to do this because it's going to hurt and I'm going to get another bruise. But I could have reframed it if I'd actually thought about it in a more positive way, which is hard. You kind of try and be positive, like, suck it up. You're going to get through this. You're going to do that. You're doing this because you want to get to the end result. But another way to look at it is Today, I'm going to get my badge of honor. Today, I'm going to get my bruise that says I've done it. I've done my injection for today. So reframing it into something more positive or silly can change the way you see things and can make you feel a bit more upbeat about the whole situation and what you're doing. So if you are going to your appointment today and you're finding that showing up time after time is difficult and you feel like this is the millionth time you've been to this surgery and why is it so unfair that you'll have to be here again, just try and turn it into something that's familiar and a bit more that you can kind of see is, instead of like, I don't want to go through this again, let's look at something more positive about it. And I'm trying to think what that can be. So maybe it is that you're learning more about your body and the way it works. With every visit, you're learning something new, which will help you get to the end result of getting pregnant. Or maybe it's that every time you go, your body is becoming more used to the process, and so relaxing more, which means that potentially it will work better. So you're not feeling as nervous about it or worried about it. So I think that today, if you are going to the surgery, going to an appointment or a blood test, then one thing that's really nice to do is take something with you that reminds you that you can be positive and funny and silly about all of this. And in the moment, it doesn't mean that you're not worried. It doesn't mean that you're not hopeful. It doesn't mean any of that. But it just means that you can get through this moment by turning it into something a little bit different. And I find a good way to do that is to listen to a song or listen to a podcast like this one, or maybe it's a book, or maybe it's a note from a friend, a voice note from a friend that you can listen to while you're waiting in that clinic for something, and it will just put you in a little bit different frame of mind. In fact, I've got a playlist on Spotify of songs I love and songs to dance to and songs that make me happy, and putting those kind of things together and listening to something like that on the way to the clinic can be a really good way to make you feel more positive about going through something that which is not really something you want to choose to do, but it's something you have to do to get to where you want to be. And I get that, and it's hard, and I know because I've been there. So today, if you are going to the clinic for an appointment, I'm sending you a massive hug. And if you're not going to the clinic for an appointment, I'm still sending you a massive hug. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.